Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher. Chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey guys, welcome in. It is Monday. Y'all know what that means. It is Monday motivation. And guys, if I ever needed a night of motivation, it is tonight that I need the motivation. I thought, how weird that tonight's topic, even though it's not talking about self-control and, you know, certain aspects and stuff, but how fitting it is after the kind of weekend that I have witnessed and went through with my friends and so forth. It's just been a crazy, overwhelming weekend, if I could just say. So welcome in, everybody. If you are brand new to my channel, I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I am the host of your Monday Motivation Night, as I am for all Monday Motivation Nights. So welcome in. It's so good to see everybody as you're coming in the chat and saying hello and everything. So welcome in. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring that bell for all notifications so you know when I go live or upload new content or my shorts or anything. And also a thumbs up on your way in, on your way out. I would greatly appreciate that as well. So again, if you are new to my channel, welcome in. I hope you will continue to come on back each Monday. And I also do auctions as well. You can find me on YouTube somewhere on Monday nights, especially Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday night, sometimes Fridays, sometimes Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. So I am usually somewhere around the YouTube, either in chat or I'm actually doing auction with my buddies and everything. All my OGs, like I said, I see your names popping up in chat. It is so good to see you guys. I really needed you guys. My soul is just craving for tonight to finally kind of be in a drama-free zone for just a little bit, guys. We have a short night tonight, but that's okay. And then my playback crew, welcome in the playback crew. If you are the playback crew, please leave me a comment. Let me know that you're the playback crew. And I only have one chat participation question tonight, but if you are the playback crew and you would like to participate in that, leave me the answer to your to my question. I should say not your question, my question. So leave me an answer if you would like. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Which goes to show you don't have to catch me live, but it's just a much more intimate type of thing if you can catch me live, so you can be involved in the chat. Everybody here is so wonderful, and just having that conversation with people in real time is just so well needed as well, I believe as well. So let's see who all is in chat. I am, like I said, I don't know how many times I'll say it tonight, but I'm so grateful to be here tonight with you guys. Y'all are my what's the word? Zen? Y'all are my Zen. I think that's what you say, right? First one in is Mr. Steph. Welcome in, Mr. Steph. So good to see you. And we got Black Widow here. Hey, Black Widow, welcome in. And we got Steph, the Mrs. Steph, in chat. Welcome in, Steph. Good to see you. We got Kathy here. Hey, Kathy, welcome in. So good to see you as well. Let's see. People are chit-chatting. Joanne. Hey, Joanne. Welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. We got Josie. Hey, Josie. Welcome in. Good to see you, sweetheart. Sorry I missed your live today. I got on my computer and I was like, oh, I forgot Josie. So welcome in. Good to see you, Josie. All right. Let's see. Nancy Smith. Welcome in. Good to see you. And we got Selena, my feather sister. Hey, Selena. Welcome in. Bless her heart. She has been that sounding board this weekend. Probably more than she should be. We got Cool Ranch, my sister. Welcome in. Good to see you. She's also been one through text and messenger as well. I was worried at first, Steph. I was like, oh no, is it my internet? And I didn't know if you came back live or not, because I like that you guys go on, those of you that go on during the day, because it gives me something to do while I'm at work. So I saw that you were live. I was like, oh good, I can quit watching this and go over there. That's right. Hashtag Playing Crew. Hello, Lori. Welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome in. Long time no see, right? Good to see you. All right. I think I got everybody. Woohoo. Yay. Like I said, tonight's going to be a short night for this topic. But if y'all chit-chat about different things, I'm sure that will take us some time as well. So I hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. Again, mine was long and full of drama and such. It was absolutely insane, but it was still a great weekend, a good weekend. So don't get me wrong. Was a very stressful weekend. Hey, Mama Sands, welcome in. Good to see you. So, but I hope you guys had a wonderful, stress-free, drama-free weekend. It's one of those times where you're just like, give me the popcorn. I need the popcorn. Oh, my goodness. So tonight's topic is on self-control. And I was thinking that as I was preparing my notes this weekend, and I thought, how freaking fitting is this topic for this past weekend about self-control. Now tonight we're talking about self-control and concerning the secret to when it comes to habits, if that's a good thing or not, or how it can be a good thing and how it might not be a good thing, all those good things, all dealing with habits. I really wish my brown sugar was in chat, but that's what we are talking about. We are still in this series for habits, and we'll be here for a bit, and we're about 1/4 way through this series. So hang in there with me, because I think these topics have come in such handiness for me. So Lisa D, welcome in. So good to see you. Yeah, I'm glad you weren't here, Selena. We might have had to have a fundraiser for some bail money. All right. Okay. Here we go. Positive spot thought. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Every act of self-control leads to the sense of self-respect. Woo, that one, yes. Self-respect. As y'all saw in my shorts today, I talked about loyalty. If you want respect from me, I got to be loyal to you. Once that loyalty is gone, the respect's kind of out the window too. So, I got tickled because Brown Sugar, Karen, as y'all know her, was up at the flea market with us this weekend and everything. And Saturday, she said, Scooter, I'm going outside and we're not discussing habits right now. I was like, okay. So she goes outside, she does her thing. And then a little bit later, she comes back in and she goes, okay, now we can talk about habits. You can do your Monday motivation now. So I'm like, well, at least you pay attention. That's all I care about. I wasn't even realizing at first what she was talking about. So this is our last topic for the first law in behavior change of making it obvious. That was the first law in behavior change of making it obvious in the queue. They went together, if you remember. So next week, we are going to be talking about the second law. We're going to jump into the second law in behavior change, and that's going to be about making it attractive. That was the second one. So let's finish the making it obvious with tonight's topic on control, and then next week we'll be moving on to the second law. Hey, Shelby, welcome in. Good to see you. So in 1971, hey, Robin. Y'all know I got to say hello as soon as you pop in because I want to ask myself later, did I say hello? Ooh, Sandy. This was, yeah. It was one of those kind of weekends where you really had to choose. You get wrapped up in the moment and then it's like, okay, let's have some fun. We're not thinking about this anymore. We're not doing anything else. And then it rev up again like it was just constant. So, but in 1971, as the Vietnam War entered its 16th year, there was two congressmen. There was Robert Steele and Morgan Murphy. I think one was from Connecticut and one was from somewhere else. But they made a shocking discovery that left the American public just stunned at what they observed. Yes, right, Lisa D? You just stop it and bring your sunshine back in. Yes. So what they discovered was that during their visit with the troops, they found out that more than 15% of the U.S. soldiers stationed in Vietnam, they were struggling with a heroin addiction. And so when they further researched this, it showed that around 35% of these service members had tried heroin. There's my brown sugar. I was just talking about you. Was your ears burning? I was telling them about how Saturday you told me we weren't discussing habits. We weren't doing Monday motivation. And then after you went outside and came back in, you said, okay, we can discuss it now. But anyways, so 35% of these active members or service members had tried heroin, and as many as 20% were actually addicted to it. The scale of the issue was even more severe than they had originally realized. The discovery sparked a wave of activity in Washington. And what that did, right? We're talking about that at Mama Sands. What that did was it led the establishment of the Special Action Office of Drug Abuse Prevention, and it was under President Nixon. And this office was set up to focus on prevention and rehabilitation as well as to monitor the service members struggling with an addiction when they return home. Now, Lee Robbins played a key role as one of the researchers in the study. And in a surprising discovery that challenged the conventional wisdom about addiction, Robbins found that only 5% of the soldiers who returned home after using heroin in Vietnam became re-addicted within a year. Only 5%, which is shocking to me. There's Tammy, Dream Chaser, welcome in. You know that, and that's funny though, because, not funny, that's not what I meant. It's crazy to me because I've talked to y'all about my stepdad, and he said that was one thing that did not do anything for him. That one and meth did nothing for him. It was crack, I think, that he said that, yeah. Isn't that crazy how some people, they talk, it was such a pandemic with those two big ones there. It's just crazy to me. That's awesome, Lisa D. 9 years. Kudos to him. So, 31. There you go. So, what was even more striking, though, was just 12% relapse over the course of 3 years. This means that about 9 out of 10 former users managed to break free from their heroin dependence almost immediately after coming back home. And the discovery went against the common belief at the time, which viewed heroin addiction as a permanent and unchangeable state. However, Robbins uncovered that the addiction could actually fade away with significant changes in a person's surroundings. Right, Lisa D, I'm telling you. Mama Sands. For instance, soldiers in Vietnam, when they were over there, they were constantly faced with the cues that triggered, that encouraged the heroin use. One, like Mama Sands said, it was easily accessible. They were under immense stress from the war, as we all know, and they formed close bonds with other soldiers who were also using, and they were also far away from home. Like, I could not even put myself there. But when the soldier returned to the U.S., he entered a world free from those triggers. As the environment shifted, so did his or her habit. So think about a typical drug user's journey. They often start their addiction at home or with friends and then decide to go to a clinic to get clean, or they're completely cut off from all the cues that triggers what fuels their habit. But when they go back to their old neighborhood, they're surrounded by all the same cues that led to their addiction in the first place. It's no surprise that the statistics here are usually the opposite of what's seen in the Vietnam study. In fact, it is said that around 90% of heroin users tend to relapse after leaving rehab and returning home. They were not, were they, Josie? The findings from the Vietnam studies really shook up a lot of our traditional views on bad habits. They pushed back against the common belief that unhealthy behaviors stem from moral failings. If you're dealing with being overweight, smoking, or addiction, society often tells you it's simply because you don't have enough self-control, which can even make you feel like a bad person, feel worse than what you already feel, possibly. And this idea that just a bit of willpower could fix all of our issues is something that we've also grown up in believing. Now, recent studies reveal an intriguing perspective. When researchers look closely at individuals who seem to have exceptional self-control, they find that these people aren't much different from those who face challenges in that area. The key difference lies in how disciplined individuals organize their lives. They create environments that minimize the need for extraordinary willpower. That's something I've been learning probably within the last year. So in simpler terms, they find ways to stay out of tempting situations more effectively. So while traits like perseverance, grit, and determination are crucial for success, the key to strengthening these qualities isn't just wishing to be more disciplined. Instead, it's about creating an environment that fosters discipline in your daily life. Even people with the strongest self-control often need to rely on it the least. It's easier to practice restraint when your willpower is not called upon frequently. All right. I'm letting chat flow. Y'all are reading each other's chat. I did want to highlight what Mr. Steph said. He's the first thing I was told when I got clean is to move away from the environment that you used in, or relapse is most likely going to happen, right? Yep. I believe that 100%. It can't, yeah, right, Sandy? It definitely is. Well, Karen, that is so very true about a lot of people would trade one bad habit for another. My stepdad was a smoker probably since his teenage years, and he traded the smoking in for gambling. When my daughter was born, my oldest daughter, he had just quit smoking. And so, in fact, the day that I had her, it was very stressful because I had toxemia. I was in emergency and everything, heart rates on both myself and my daughter and everything. We were really sick, and so it was a very stressful time. And that was the first time after however long he went without smoking that he tried smoking, and he made himself absolutely sick. And so luckily he was able not to go back to it at that point. And so that was traded in for gambling. So he did a lot of gambling. I know from that time, since my daughter was born until sometime after Robert and I got married, 2, 3, 4 years, I don't know, after. And so, then that got exchanged for something else. Yeah, 100% that they trade one bad habit for another sometimes. Yep. Yeah, regardless, right, Lisa D? Regardless, because now I'm here 24/7, love them with all my heart. And, I have to realize, hey, my kids are 30, 28, and our youngest is 27. And it's like, they're adults now. It's really their life. I'll be here to guide and give advice. But their choices, they're responsible for, I think a lot of us, especially as mamas, we have a hard time with that. Cool said, avoid temptation, practice restraint. Those are some more positive thoughts, right? Selena said, I never did drugs, but I haven't smoked in 25 years. I am fortunate to say I never, ever. I did try smoking regular cigarettes in high school. Never could inhale. So, we're talking maybe a 3-week thing. And I was like, what? I don't get this. So, I kind of feel like, Bill Clinton really is telling the truth about not inhaling. I just could never get that down. And so I didn't, get hooked on it, luckily and fortunately, because Robert would not have married me. So, let alone date me. But yeah, and I've never, ever have done drugs. I drink. I've had alcohol. But that was one thing I'm so thankful for. I've never tried it. I've been too scared to try it, you know. So, and of course that like throws the guys in my office are like, really? You never even done pot? No, never even tried it. I couldn't stand the smell of it to begin with, so. Right, Lisa D? And that's probably, you know, moving back to a place that caused those situations. Yeah. Lisa D said, Julia turned 19 years old. I quit when I was pregnant with her when I found out. So 20 years now. That's awesome, Lisa D. Congratulations. Right now, Kathy, that is a very true statement. Never did either one, but your brain chose other addictions. Yes. Yes. 1000%. I know, Selena. He said he didn't do a lot of things, but you know, I kind of wonder about that one. It definitely is, right, Steph? It's a choice every day, and that the addiction is a symptom of avoiding something, right? We're running from something. We're trying to numb ourselves from something, either from pain or our past. You know, there's something that we're trying to avoid, and that's even those, you know, of other things, not just drugs addiction. That's awesome, Lisa D. Right, Sandy? Yes. Just from what I've seen, you know, and I'm blessed that the time that I went through that with my stepdad was a very short time, amazingly, because he's bipolar and has always been manic depression, or not manic depression, major depression and everything. And so it amazes me that there's a whole lot of other stuff in that story there that I'm not telling you, but compared to what other people have gone through with other family members that have gone through a longer time of dealing with someone that's addicted to drugs, it was very short, but it cost them a whole lot of stuff, so a lot of things. Steph says usually to numb from something, it doesn't have to be a chemical, right? Yep. Right, Josie? You know, for this mama, I've told my girls ever since they were little, and they remember it to this day, ice cream fixes everything. Anytime there was something, like when my Harley was thinking of dropping out of hair school, cosmetology school, she had already been there. She was almost done. I think she was like very short of whatever hours. I mean, it was emotional and everything. And so instead of getting just full blown out upset with her and everything, I was just like, let's go to Chick-fil-A, let's get us some ice cream, and let's talk. So my girls have grown up with that. So when my dad, my biological dad, my real dad, passed away, Harley was here the next day and she brought me an ice cream cone, and we just cried over that ice cream cone because she remembers that that's what we've always done. So it was either that or Krispy Kreme donuts. So, you know. So the surprising idea really clicks when you realize how our brains, they form the habits. Once a habit is set in our mind, it's just waiting to be pulled out when the right moment comes along. Take Polly Owell, Olwell, for example. She's a therapist from Austin, Texas, and when she started smoking, she would often light up while riding horses with a friend. After a while, she quit smoking and even stopped riding altogether. And then decades later, she got back on a horse, and to her surprise, suddenly she craved a cigarette like it was just yesterday. The cues, those triggers, were still tucked away in her brain. She just hadn't encountered them in ages. So once a habit is formed, the desire to engage in that behavior often returns whenever familiar cues appear. This is one reason why some behavior change techniques can actually be counterproductive. For instance, shaming individuals struggling with obesity through weight loss presentations might lead to increased stress, prompting many to revert to their go-to coping mechanisms, overeating. Similarly, when smokers are shown graphic images of damaged lungs, it can elevate anxiety levels, driving some to reach for a cigarette instead. If we aren't mindful of these cues, we might inadvertently encourage the very actions we're trying to discourage. So bad habits can become a vicious cycle, continuously feeding on themselves. They often amplify when the very feelings we are trying to escape. For example, sugar-free, sugar. I know, the whole type 2, and those that might be type 1, we gotta watch out for that. Sandy said it takes 30 days to change a habit, of lifetime to maintain, right? Well, I am on 14 weeks of the habit that I started a while back on my listing, 14 weeks, because Poshmark tells me so. So I'm happy. So, for example, when you feel down, those of us that, feel down at times, we might reach for junk food, chocolate, cookies, whatever. I'm just telling you some of mine, which can, in turn, make you feel worse. Watching too much television can leave you feeling sluggish, leading you to watch even more because you lack the motivation to do anything else. Sometimes I've just got to get up, go get dressed, brush my hair, get out of my bed clothes and everything. And that's usually some more times than not a way of getting me moving, getting me going. So, let's see. If you're worried about your health, that anxiety might drive you to smoke, only to worsen your health and increase your anxiety. It's a downward spiral like a runaway train of unhealthy choices. So researchers have named this interesting phenomenon cue-induced wanting. Basically, an external trigger that can set off an intense craving to repeat an unhealthy habit. A lot of people say, well, I don't smoke until I go to the bar with some friends, right? It's because that triggers you to think, oh, it's time to light up. Once you spot something, your desire for it will grow. Studies show that when addicts see a picture of cocaine, even for just 33 milliseconds, it activates their brain's reward pathways and ignites a craving. This duration is so brief, so very, very short, that the brain doesn't even have time to register it or, register it consciously. The addict wouldn't even be able to tell you what they even saw. Yet, despite that, the urge for the drug is still very, very, very real. So here's the bottom line. You can break a habit, but it's tough to completely forget it. Kind of like the whole forgive and forget, Forgive somebody, but it's so hard to forget what the action was if it's something that was major, right? So it's the same thing with a habit. You can break a habit, but it's tough to completely forget about that habit. Once those mental pathways are etched in your brain, they're almost impossible to erase, even if you haven't used them in a very long while. Karen says, all true, I'm an on and off smoker, but my real habit, yes, chips. I told Tammy, I was like, Karen can't go anywhere because, she's the one that helps floats us in the chip department here. If I ever see her without a bag of chips, I'm going to be worried about her. I'll be like, Karen, you feeling okay? You okay, brown sugar? This weekend we were calling each other brown sugar and white sugar. So even if you haven't even used whatever the bad habit is that you had, even if you haven't used it in a while, if you have that one trigger, it's possible for you to remember that and maybe even go back to it. So simply resisting temptation isn't the best approach. Staying calm and collected in a world full of distractions is very hard work and exhausting. I do say so myself from this weekend. Staying calm and collected in a world full of distraction is such hard work and exhausting. So while you might be able to resist temptations for a little while, over time we become shaped by our surroundings. Honestly, I've never seen anyone manage to stick to a good habits when they're surrounded by negativity. It's very hard to do. So right now might be a good time to do a chat participation question because there's only one tonight. So get your star in. This is where you get entered into the monthly drawing. If you answer the question or make the statement, whatever it is I tell you at chat participation time, you get entered into my monthly drawing that we do on the first Monday of each month. Are you able to stick to a habit you started? And the habit that you started and are doing when there's negativity or chaos? Can you do that habit? Can you stick with it, start it, or whatever? The one that you're doing, possibly, if there's negativity or chaos. I just want to know what y'all think. Right, Kathy? Thank you for sharing that, Kathy. You know what? So Lisa D said, when I quit, my nurse said, chew sugar-free gum and rubber bands in hands, keep them busy. Right? They say it's the action of it. It's not even the taste or anything. It's the action of having something in your hand is what I've been told. I've never been addicted, so I can't tell you. But keep them busy. You paid my gas at the pump for 2 years because they are at the counter. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you paid for your gas at the pump for years because they're at the counter, so you remove that temptation by not going in there. I see what you're saying, Lisa D. Good job. Nancy said, no, ma'am. Joanne says, no. Tammy says, I'll buy you more chips tomorrow, Karen. Karen's like, you're out of my favorite chips, by the way. Steph says, I find it harder, but attempt to anyway, especially with new habits, right? Lisa D, no. Selena says, no, I think I understand what you were saying. Yeah, can you either A, start a habit, or if you just started a habit or you have a habit, are you able to do that during the negativity or chaos? Can you still keep up with it? Karen says, chaos will take me back to my habit, right? Yes. I knew what you meant, Lisa D, after I read it a couple of times. Cool Ranch says, no. Kathy says, I make every attempt to still do the habit if possible, right? Sandy says, no. I know for myself, like with this whole listing thing, my goal is Monday through Friday, list 3 things. I make it super easy. If I do more than 3, awesome. If I get just 3 done, I'm cool with it. But I can tell you when things are chaotic, or if I have a certain friend here for a couple of weeks, then, I'm not going to be as out to do it. Like, I have to have structure in my life to keep a habit going, But that's why I also said Monday through definitely Thursday. Friday is awesome, but I don't make myself do it on the weekend because I know how I am on the weekend. I got enough to do on the weekend. Josie says no, right? It's like, I'm just like, forget it. I don't want to do it. I'm not messing with it. Nope, I'm pissed off about this, or I'm worried about that, or whatever. I'm not doing my habit. No. Cool says she was texting her mama, so she didn't hear. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Talk about, can you possibly even do keep doing that habit that you just started, or maybe you've been doing for a little while. Can you do it? Can you stick to it when there's chaos and negativity around? Selena said, yes, I can when Amelia died. I didn't pick up a cigarette and I really couldn't use one, right? Could have used one. I love calling you out. And I knew what you meant, Selena. Y'all forget I speak Selenanese and Lisanese and Coolanese and Tamanese and Kiranese and all of y'all, Joannanese. I can speak all those languages. So a better way to tackle bad habits is to tackle them right at their source. One of the easiest ways to kick a bad habit to the curb is by cutting down on the triggers, what it is that's triggering you, the cues that lead to it. Kathy says, my cute bunny has helped do my new morning habit the last 2 weeks, and that has decreased anxiety. I love it, Kathy. You're getting a special star for that. Kathy, y'all make sure, if you have a ranch, you can easily click on those 3 dots. Go subscribe to each other, support one another. Somebody's got a hold of the keyboard at Mr. Steph's place. He's talking gibberish. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to understand what he's saying, right? I didn't say I speak Mr. Stephanie's, so. Mr. Anise. Oh, love it. But anyways, go and support each other. Kathy's been showing this little bunny rabbit that I think we're all starting to get to know very well and so forth. And so that bunny eats very, very well, thanks to Kathy. I'm like, if I was that bunny, I would be at Kathy's house every day. So, for example, if your phone is a distraction for you, you're trying to get some work done and it feels like you're not getting any work done because the phone's a distraction, leave your phone in another room for a few hours. Put it on vibrate and leave it in the other room. That way you don't hear the dings or the notifications, whatever it is. You don't hear it. Go put it in the other room and then be determined to get done what's in front of you in the other room. We're all messing up tonight, aren't we, with our words? If you're having a hard time feeling like you are enough, us women definitely struggle with that. I'm not feeling like we're enough because most of the time we're comparing ourselves to someone else's lives. Stop following social media accounts that trigger jealousy and envy. I have done that myself. It's like, I got to quit watching this. Do you watch too much TV and feel like you're wasting time? Move the TV out of your bedroom if that's where you're watching the TV. This approach, it flips the first law of behavior change on its head. Instead of making your cues obvious, why not make them invisible? Right, Steph? She said, put it in the freezer, then you say you have frozen assets. So, if you have a problem with something that makes a bad habit, like say your phone is a distraction, then flip it and make it invisible. Put it in another room. I know, like at work, my phone is always on vibrate, and every so often I turn off the notification on my emails and stuff. That way, if I'm working on a project in front of me, I can concentrate on that project. So, if I'm working here at home, if I'm working here on my business, I can watch YouTube, but it's got to be something that really catches my interest. It's got to be like a monotone voice, something that there's just jabbering going on. I can turn it on for the noise, but it can't be anything that's interesting. Because if I do that, Robert has walked in here more times than I care to say. He'll be like, I thought you were working. I thought you had to get invoicing done. I thought you had to get shipping done. And I'm like, shut up. I want to watch what this is, and then I'll do it. Right, Josie? I've always had that habit. Josie says, my habit is I talk too much. I got proof of that habit. When I was in first grade, I got my first paddling in first grade because I was talking too much. I love to talk. Oh, you do, Selena. I think we all, especially in this group, make a difference in each other's lives so much more than what we know. I know I have a couple of y'all that y'all tell me this, and I'm like, well, do you really think so? Do you really think that what I said tonight really mattered to anybody? You know, so we're always questioning ourselves, not feeling like we're making a huge difference. But then something big somewhere will happen, and we're like, wow, I really didn't realize that I had that kind of an influence on somebody. So, all right. So, making them invisible so you don't see it. I'm often amazed at how well small adjustments can work. Just by removing one of your little keys, you can see an entire habit start to fade away. Think of self-control as a short-term fix, not a long-term solution. Sure, you might be able to resist temptation for a few times, but relying on willpower, sheer willpower alone, isn't usually sustainable. Got you, Steph. And that's right, Lisa D. That's why I love having you guys here, because y'all help each other when I'm busy blabbing my mouth, right? Let's see, where was I? Instead of constantly digging deep for that extra willpower, every time you're faced with a choice, focus on improving the surroundings. So whatever it is that is in your environment, if that's what's influencing you to constantly, keep doing a bad habit that you don't want to do, then change that environment. If it's something that you need to have yourself encouraged to do a habit, then change that up. So like, I will go ahead and go pick out my 3 items and I will set them out. I know, listing is not that big of a deal, but it's the only thing I can use that can really relate to what we're talking about. So, but I'll go pick out my items and I'll put them here on my desk. So that part, I can't sit there the next day and go, well, I didn't do that because, I got distracted by, I had a phone call, I got a couple of text messages, I had to answer email. I can't use that. It's set up, it's ready to go right here at my desk for me to turn on the light and take my pictures. And it literally takes me less than, probably some days less than 5 minutes, some days less than 10 minutes, but it usually does not take me that long to do my listings at all, because now, thanks to AI and Poshmark, it pretty much makes it go a lot quicker. So, but I can use that to kind of show y'all what I mean as far as the examples I give you in the habit and everything. Oh, Lisa D, you're so sweet. You're so welcome, Tammy. Selena says, you know what mood I'm in on how I say honey? It means 2 different things. And the word wow has 2 meanings. Right, Selena? Yes. Kathy says, chatting daily with many of you has made a huge difference in my life, and that includes you, Selena. Oh, I love it. Right, Joanne? See, I can't do that. I am not a poker face kind of person. Like, I might tell you that I'm okay or that I'm not upset or whatever, but my face is going to tell you everything. So that's like people want me to go like prank somebody. I can't do it because I start giggling before I can prank somebody. Ever so often I get proud of myself because I accomplished it, but more times than not, especially if my boss puts me up to it, yeah, I will not succeed because I just can't. I can't role play. I can't stick that poker face. It's just like, nope, you see it all right here as much as I want to try to hide it. No, you're so welcome, Steph. So the key to better self-control, that is the key, is to focus on improving your surroundings when it comes to self-control. Make it easy to notice cues that support your good habits while keeping reminders of your bad habits out of sight. If I don't see a fresh plate of cookies in the kitchen, I'm not going to go for any cookies because they're not there, right? Like we discussed, I think it was last week, I'm a very out of sight, out of mind. Robert will tell you that, especially when it comes to food in the kitchen. If I don't see it, if there's not something there that reminds me, at least when, especially if it's something new that I haven't had for a while, like, fruit, whatever, and it's in the crisper in the fridge. Like if I open the fridge, I might see it if it's sitting on the shelf. But if it's in that drawer and I don't see it, then it's like I forget all about it. Right, Josie? Like, there's been several of you that were like, no, your face says it all, Scooter. Let's see. Cool says, Scooter, my sister has absolutely no poker face, right? None is written all over her, which is an amazing quality to possess. I don't know. I don't know. There are times I wish it wasn't, right? Oh, right. Yeah, I was like, wait, what is she talking about here? She said, watch Scooter's face when they say only 50%, and she thinks it's 75%. Priceless. I think it was the opposite, wasn't it, Selena? Like, I thought they said 50%, but they said, no, it's 75%. And it's like my whole attitude changed. It was like, oh, well, let's go shopping. 75% is so much more fun than 50%, right? Because, like, I had the down face. I was like, oh, it's only 50%. Then Selena's like, no, I think they said 75%. I was like, oh, well, let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's hustle. So, short notes tonight, but I want to summarize real quick what we have learned tonight. The inversion of the first law of behavior change is to make it invisible. Once a habit is formed, it's unlikely to be forgotten. People with high self-control tend to spend less time in tempting situations. It's easier to avoid temptation than resist it. One of the most practical ways to eliminate a bad habit is to reduce exposure to the cues that causes it. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. And over the last 4 episodes, including tonight's, we have talked about the first law of behavior change, make it obvious, and how to create a good habit. So that's been over the last 4 episodes. So just kind of a brief reminders of what that was, the last 4 episodes. The first thing that we talked about was how to create a habit scorecard and how to fill out a habit scorecard. Write down your current habits to become aware of them. The second thing that we talked about in these 4 episodes was we talked about using implementation. Golly, that's a hard word tonight. Intentions, which was the I will, what is the behavior, at what time, and what location. So if it was working out, then you would say, I will go to the gym at 5 p.m. at Esporta. That was the gym I was going to on Mondays and Wednesdays, whatever it may be. Implementation habits or intentions. Okay. The third thing was that we use habit stacking. And that was after current habit, I will new habit. And it's where we were able to, whatever current habit we have, you would add the new habit to it. So if I'm going in the kitchen to fix me a cup of coffee, then I will, whatever the new habit might be, go for a walk, call a friend, do listings, whatever it may be, you can stack the habits. Hey, Mary, welcome in. So good to see you. Regardless, welcome in, Mary. Right? Yes. In a sec, her face changed. So, and lastly, we have discussed was the design your environment, how you change your environment to fit the habits that you're wanting to keep, those that you want to create. Make the keys of good habits obvious and visible. So we also learned in the first law of behavior change and how to break a bad habit, and that was to make it invisible. Short and sweet on that one. How to break a bad habit, make it invisible. We learned to reduce exposure, remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment. So, Selena says, I got excited today. I got an ice box for my mice condo. Oh my gosh, right? Selena, when she was here, she was buying these, what were they called, Selena? They're They were little bitty books. I can't think of what the actual name of the thing is. But she was buying the little books to put in my condo, and they come with the little shelf that you have to put together. So she was buying that. Well, after she left, I was like, well, I saw the one that had like name brands, mini brands. And that one's called mini brands because it was like a little purse, and you got other little accessories go with it. So I went and bought one. That's all I bought was just one. I haven't bought any others. Little brands, mini books. So she got that. I got the little brands, mini purses, or mini fashion. Mini fashion is what it was. I only bought one. So I'm going to put, mine had like a purse that looked like a basketball. So I'm going to get some of my little sloths and put the purse and the scarf. And I think one had like a fanny pack or something. I'm going to put on one of my sloths. That's what I want to do is put them over there. I'm not buying any more. Just that one. I was wanting to see if I can get a Louis Vuitton. That's what I really want to see. Granted, it was going to be fake, but who cares, right? Oh, that's cool, Mary. Let's see. I want to thank you guys for starting off your week with me, as always, for Monday Motivation. I hope, again, that there was something in tonight's topic that you could use and make it a good habit for yourself that you can start implementing if you're trying to create new habits and so forth. Good habits, new good habits, right? I get tickled at Steph and I because Steph will tell you that I'm her accountability partner, but she's kind of mine too. So we're always checking in with each other. Hey, I got up at this time. This is what I've accomplished so far. So if you need an accountability partner, let me know. I would be more than happy. Sometimes I'll respond to Steph, and then sometimes, like Saturday, I didn't respond to her at all. But then remember today, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't respond back to you. Because I at least want her to know that I acknowledged that I saw what she put. And then sometimes I challenge her. She'll say, well, I did this, and this. I'm like, okay. Because right now she's wanting to get into listing and everything. And I'm like, okay. So what's your plan about listing? Are you going to get it done today? Is it going to be tomorrow? I don't care, when she's going to do it. But it's trying to hold her accountable to what she wants to be held accountable for, right? So it's fun. It's, fun conversation, fun time to pick on each other, that kind of thing, right? We definitely gave each other grace over the weekend. Oh, did you do the mothballs? Yes. So Brown Sugar Karen had a skunk. And anytime anybody moved or, water was going through the drains or whatever, it would do its business spraying. So somebody, I think it was Tammy, said get mothballs and throw them underneath the building. She said, I think so, other than we was making too much noise, so it's no longer spraying us, by the way. Y'all, one got trapped under my house. Right? Yes. I didn't know if you want me to say where, so I was using your line of the building and everything. So she was telling me about a raccoon that was on top of her car. That was a hysterical story that I got to hear this weekend as well. So, all right. Tomorrow night, I will be on with my feather sister, Selena, for our one fry short of a Happy Meal at 7:30 p.m. Central. And probably we'll have Steph and Mr. Steph on with us as well. Wednesday night, of course, Roadflow will be here. Wednesday night, we will be over on Josie's Place, I believe, at 6 p.m. Central. So make sure you're subscribed over there so you know when we're live over there. And then I think we are. Josie, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Thursday night, I will be back here on my channel at 7:30 p.m. Central with Cool Ranch Dorito. Hopefully we can get it together this week. Oh, it's been too crazy. So again, guys, thank you for your patience last week as I worked through the mental break from Wednesday night and then all the stuff that started Thursday. I really, really, really look forward to getting back into the swing of things this week. That's why tonight was so important for me to be here with you guys. All right. Thank you, Josie. I was like, I think we are. I hadn't seen a thumbnail, but I haven't been looking for it either because it's been too crazy. So Let's see. Next Monday motivation. Next Monday we'll be on episode 132. And we'll be starting the discussion of the second law of behavior change, and that's to make it attractive. So we're going to be discussing on how to make a habit irresistible. So I look forward to that topic and sharing it with you guys. So come on back and let's discuss, come hang out, do all these crazy conversations and stuff. Yeah, there you go, Tammy. Now she does it to get me. She rarely ever calls me Pam or Pamela. Rarely. It's always Scooter. So when she says it, it throws me off big time. And that's what she's doing here. But I love you too, Tammy. Thank you, Mary. Oh, thank you, Mama Sands. I appreciate that. Right? Yes, Lisa D. Tomato bath. That's exactly what I was thinking of when Karen was telling us that. All right. Don't forget to do the YouTube things. Subscribe, ring the bell, and a thumbs up before you get out of here tonight. I would greatly appreciate that if you haven't already. So make it a great week. If I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube, remember you have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Every act of self-control leads to a sense of self-respect. Now let's do this thing. Y'all have a great night and I'll see you guys soon. Good night.